us a countdown, Mom. Go.
Okay. Hi, I'm contestant number 2 for humorous literary interpretation. Wuthering Heights is one of the classic pieces of Victorian Gothic literature and a masterclass in irony. The main plot, about two rival houses entrenched in tragedy, passion, and revenge, is set within a frame story about a Mr. Lockwood. This excerpt is from the beginning of the novel and sets up Mr. Lockwood with the questions that lead to the story being told. It also showcases Miss Bronte's ingenious use of ironic humor. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. 1801. I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbor I shall be troubled with. In all England, I do not believe I could have fixed upon a situation so completely removed from the stir of society. A perfect misanthropist 7. And Mr. Heathcliff and I are such a suitable pair to divide the desolation between us. A capital fellow. He little imagined how my heart warmed towards him when I beheld his black eyes withdraw so suspiciously under their brows as I rode up. Mr. Heathcliff? Mr. Lockwood, your new tenant, sir. I do myself the honor of coming as soon as possible after my arrival to walk in. The walk in was uttered with closed teeth and expressed the sentiment, go to the deuce. Even the gate over which he leaned manifested no sympathizing quality to the words, and I believe circumstance determined me to accept the invitation. I felt interested at a man who seemed more exaggeratedly reserved than myself. I found him very intelligent on the topics we touched, and before I went home was encouraged so far as to volunteer another visit tomorrow. He evidently wished no repetition of my intrusion. I shall go, notwithstanding. It is astonishing how sociable I feel myself compared with him. Yesterday afternoon set in misty and cold. I took my hat, and after a 4 miles walk, arrived at Mr. Heathcliff's door just in time to escape the first feathery flakes of a snow shower. Knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, 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 knock. The snow began to drive thickly. Knock, knock. Churlish inmates! You deserve perpetual isolation for your wretched inhospitality. At least, I wouldn't bar my gates during the daytime. I don't care. I will get in. Knock, 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 knock. Behind me appeared a young man shouldering a pitchfork. He hailed me follow him, and we at length arrived in the huge, warm, cheerful apartment where I was formally received. Near the table, I was pleased to observe the Missus, an individual whose existence I had never previously suspected. Rough weather. A beautiful animal. Do you intend on parting with the little ones, madam? They're not mine. Oh, I see, certainly. These must be your favorites, I said, turning to an obscure cushion full of something like cats. A strange choice of favorites. Unluckily, it was a heap of dead rabbits. I withdrew to the hearth, repeating my comment on the wildness of the evening. 5 minutes afterwards, I was relieved in some measure from my uncomfortable state by the entrance of Mr. Heathcliff. You see, sir, I am come, according to promise, and I fear I shall be weather-bound for half an hour. Yes, and I wonder you should select the thick of a snowstorm to ramble about in. Do you know you run a risk of being lost in these marshes? Perhaps I could get a guide among one of your lads. Could you spare me one? No, I could not. Well then, I must trust to my own sagacity. Behind me, the young man with the pitchfork shifted his ferocious gaze from me to the young lady. Are you going to make the tea? Is he to have any? Make it, will you? The words were uttered in such a tone that revealed a genuine bad nature. I was no longer inclined to call Mr. Heathcliff a capital fellow. It occurred to me, if I had caused the cloud, it was my duty to make an effort to dispel it. They could not every day sit so grim and taciturn, and it was impossible, however ill-tempered they might be, that the universal scowl they wore was their universal, everyday countenance. It is strange, how custom can mold our tastes and ideas. Many cannot imagine happiness in a life such as you lead, Mr. Heathcliff, yet I'll venture to say that, surrounded by your family, with your amiable lady as the presiding genius over your house and heart, my amiable lady. Where is she, my amiable lady? Mrs. Heathcliff? Your wife, I mean? Well, yes. Oh, I see. You intimate that her spirit has taken post as ministering angel and guards the fortunes of Wuthering Heights, even when her body is gone from it. Is that it? Perceiving myself in a blunder, I attempted to correct it. I might have seen there was too great a disparity in the ages of the parties to make it likely they were man and wife. One was about 40, a period of mental vigor at which men seldom cherish the delusion of being married for love by girls. That dream is reserved for the solace of our declining years. The other did not look 17. Then it occurred to me, the young man at my elbow, the clown who was drinking his tea out of a basin and eating his bread with unwashed hands, may be her husband. Heathcliff Jr., of course. This is the consequence of being buried alive. She has thrown herself away upon that boar out of sheer ignorance that better individuals existed. A sad pity. I must beware how I cause her to regret her choice. That last reflection may seem conceited. It was not. My neighbor struck me as bordering on repulsive. I knew through experience that I was tolerably attractive. I see. You are the favored possessor of this beneficent fairy. This was worse than before. The young man grew crimson, clenched his fists, with every appearance of a meditated assault, but smothered the storm in a brutal curse, which I, however, took care not to notice. Unhappy in your conjectures, sir. We neither of us have the privilege of owning your good fairy. Her maid is dead. I said she was my daughter-in-law, therefore she must have married my son. And this young man is not my son, assuredly. My name is Hareton Earnshaw, and I counsel you to respect it. I show no disrespect, I said, laughing internally at the dignity with which he announced himself. The weather compelled me to stay the night, but at the first gleam of dawn, I made my escape. I am now adjourned to my study, and quite prepared for my breakfast. Thank you.